welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited to give you garden tour week number 4. It was my birthday on Saturday and all I wanted to do was work out here for like the whole day. So that's what I did. And Ryan came out and helped me. He was on a youth trip with the young men and young women in our area and they went kayaking. So he got back from kayaking and then he came and he helped me. It was really sweet. So anyway, I cannot wait to show you all the things that we did this weekend. So this is garden tour week 4. Welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. First, Ryan fixed this door. So up until now, this door has not been functional. We had to kind of prop it shut. So now it actually functions like an actual door. Oh, you're gonna be so excited. I can't even tell you how excited I am. Look, you guys. Look at this beautiful space. We still have a mess over here. And I have to tell you a little story about my mess. So I ordered this shed on Amazon. And I have a really bad habit of ordering things and not reading the description and just like, oh my gosh, this looks so cute. It's a good price. I'll take it. And Ryan said, it's not going to be big enough. It's not going to be big enough. And I was like, it's fine. I didn't read the description. I looked at the pictures and I they have like stuff propped up next to it so you can like see how large it is. Anyway, Ryan started building this shed for me a week ago. Anyway, sometime a couple weeks to a week ago, he starts building me this shed and I come out and I see it and it is so beautiful, so cute, looks just like the picture, so tiny. So tiny. So, but I do have a really exciting announcement. I walk out and I see the shed and I'm like, well, that stuff is definitely not gonna fit. Like, I knew the kayaks weren't gonna fit. I knew like I was gonna have to come up with a solution for the kayaks, probably keep them stored in here just because they need to stay out of the sun. My other option is like under our front porch, but anyway, I'm thinking the kayaks will be staying in this space for their storage. But when I saw how tiny it was, I was like, oh my gosh, that is not going to work. That is not going to work for my junk pile. So, and it's not really like junk, like one of the things in here is like a really nice chicken plucker, like the thing that you put the chickens down in and it will, well, obviously they're not alive, but it defeathers the chickens for you so you don't have to hand pluck. It's like one of the most coolest farm tools I've ever bought. So like that's in here and I'm like, that needs protection. Like it's been doing okay in here, but I'd really like it to have more protection because, there's holes in this roof and everything like that. So anyway, I walk out and I see how tiny this shed is and I'm like, it's perfect. My first thought instantly goes to, it is going to be, because I've been wanting to build my farm stand with all recycled materials. And instead of using recycled materials, I'm going to use this cute shed. It's so cute. And it's going to be perfect. So we're going to I have like a wooden platform back there. It was our bridge at our old house. But now, and I keep saying old house, but it wasn't like old. At our other house before we moved, we had bridges to get to like the goat pasture and all of that. And I left one, but I had one bridge that was going to nowhere. Like there was no gate, there was nothing. So we left the one bridge that made sense to the entrance of the goat pasture, but we brought one of the bridges that we had built and it was eventually going to be a second entry to that pasture. But we brought that bridge and I think the shed is going to fit perfectly on top of the bridge as like a platform and screw it down. And I'm so excited for that. So it's going to be my farm stand. And I actually got my food handler's certificate and I applied for the cottage food program in Arizona. What that means is that you can bake, sell products out of your home or small business. It's a very cool program that supports micro businesses, which is what I consider myself, a micro business. So I'm gonna be selling stuff. And I really wanted this, even though I'm selling fresh produce. Like, I really wanted some like accreditation. I wanted some credit. I wanted some papers that said I could do this. And the other thing I also did, this is not garden related, but I applied for the nest egg run program. So what that means is I'm selling less than 750 dozen eggs a year, but the state of Arizona and the agricultural department will know that I am selling eggs off of my property. So if there is some kind of an outbreak or anything like that, if they need to come inspect my birds, so I'm feeling very official right now. So let's get on to this garden tour. And those are my big announcements, that I've got a building for my farm stand, and I have some ideas in my head on how to make it work and where to put it on my property. And I've got my food handler certificate, so I can, sell jams, jellies, salsa, that kind of stuff. Fermented foods is what I'm really wanting to get into. And then I have I applied. I don't have like official confirmation yet. I applied for the cottage food program in Arizona, and I applied for my nest egg run in Arizona. So excited. Okay, let's do this tour. Right off the bat, we'll start with the huckleberries. And if you notice, I put mulch on everything. And mulch is my best friend. I started gardening with mulch. There's a weed right here. I'm gonna pull it. I started gardening with mulch in 2021. And because during that year of 2020, where we all know we were mostly all confined to our own homes and kind of making do with what we had, I used animal bedding, and I was learning about how the ground needs to stay cooler, like how mulch, it's kind of like this blanket where it keeps the ground a very good temperature and protects your plants from the heat of the day, from burning, and then also keeps in the warmth at night. And so where I live, the temperatures drop in the evening. I live in a desert plateau area, so it's warm in the day, and then actually it gets pretty hot in the day, and then the temperatures drop down in the evening. So those temperature fluctuations can really affect your plants and their productivity. So mulch has become my best gardening friend. And Ryan kept asking me, why do you want mulch? They're looking so good. I kid you not, putting the mulch down, and I'll just show you. So these are the hot peppers, and we had enough mulch. I also live very far away from everything. So getting this mulch, it was like an hour away. And I've been looking in my area and nowhere is carrying mulch. But you can definitely see a difference in size. Now they have grown. The peppers the sweet peppers on that side have grown. But putting the mulch down, this is just 2 days worth of growth. Because we put this down on my birthday, which was Saturday, and it's Monday now. So 2 days of growth, comparing this to this, it's definitely a big difference, and I can definitely tell how the mulch helps. And I love how it looks, and I know that it's serving a really good purpose as well. So it's worth it to me. So our huckleberries are doing well over here. The one I trimmed is growing. The one I didn't trim is growing better. So not a failed experiment. Ooh, look it. There's some baby huckleberries. They're gonna get started. So yeah, definitely don't trim it. Maybe, I don't know. At this point, I'm saying don't trim because these little things are bushing out without being trimmed. But I'm not sad or mad that I did it. I think it's very important to experiment in your own garden and determine how you like to do things and to see. For me, I like to see things in action for myself. And of course, Snowball wants to be in the video. Okay, I'm not giving up on this lupine, but it's really sad. I got all of the poo and stuff cleaned away from it and I mulched it, but I don't know, guys. That's sad. Okay, Snapdragon corner is looking beautiful. I think we'll see a huge growth in this corner, especially with the mulch, because the sun really comes right down on this corner in the heat of the day, and snapdragons don't really love that. So, and then there is of course an okra, and I have a bleeding heart bush in there that I'm hoping will sprout up. They take a little longer to sprout. Then we move on, we have some more okra, onions, a daisy. I'm pretty sure it's a daisy. Otherwise, I'm just mulching a weed. I think it's a daisy because I planted a daisy there and it's the only one that stayed growing. So we'll see. And it's not growing as fast as the weeds grow. Felicity's coming to say hi. She keeps these bushes nice and trimmed. These rose bushes. All right, I ended up pulling out the crimson spineless burgundy okra that was right here and putting in the black cherry. This is the top of the black cherry plant that I planted that Snowball actually broke off. I rooted it. It was ready to go in the ground, put it in the ground. And then our flowers along here, that nasturtium. I did just water, so everything's a little bit floppy. I'm actually hand watering now. So we removed all of the pipes, the drip lines, because they were so old and brittle. We reuse everything and repurpose everything that we can. Okay, giant marigold, looking awesome. Anyway, what happened was it was breaking in so many different places and it was just squirting all over. So I removed all of the drip line and now I just hand water. All right, this corner there's asparagus here that is not mulched. It's not sprouting yet, so I'm okay with that. I have onions, foxglove, giant marigolds right here. My cucumbers, I told y'all I was gonna come up with a way for the cucumbers to climb and look beautiful. I figured it out. I remembered I had purchased this on the clearance aisle, of course. That's my jam. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing these cucumbers climb up this climb up this trellis. And then I'm so excited. I planted Mammoth Sunflowers in here. They are some of my favorite. It says that it takes 75 days, so I'm hoping I got them in the ground soon enough. If not, it's all right. It'll be really fun to watch them grow. And I had the seed. I didn't have to go out and buy more seed or anything. So I planted Mammoth Sunflowers along the back of this wall area, and I think it's going to be beautiful. I think it's going to be so beautiful. Sunflowers are one of my favorite. They really attract pollinators. One year I actually had a swarm of bees come to a Mammoth Sunflower. So definitely a special place in my heart. I used to have it on every edge of the garden, so it kind of looked magical. So I think this is going to be really going with my yearly theme of having some magic in the garden. All right, tomatoes. This is Aroma tomato, and it's doing very well. This one is beefsteak. Here we have black creme, and we have some of our first blooms. And I'm not going to pinch them off this time. I'm just going to let them go. I'm not going to really fool with them. I'm going to let them grow up. Right here is Cherokee Purple. The tomatoes are loving this environment. I hope we get enough pollinators in here. But I gotta plant more flowers. That's why I did plant more flowers. And yellow brandywine. I love these tomatoes. They're so pretty. They have like a elegant leaf. Just so large, so pretty. And Haley was admiring this like split stem here. I don't know why I did that. If you know, leave me in the comments if you know why. We also sank down this pathway because I had tiles breaking, because they're not really meant for this purpose. So we leveled them out, we sank them in, and now there's a less chance of them breaking. There's a chicken feather on my foot. All right, we have a black cherry. No. Scratch that. This is Matt's wild cherry. Black cherry is the one that got busted. Matt's wild cherry usually takes off and grows wild, as the name suggests. Sweetie. Those pretty little yellow flowers. And then we have... What are you? I don't remember. Where's your label? All right, I don't remember what this tomato is. Oh, large red cherry. Large red cherry. Then the black cherry is coming back. And then we have the sweetie container variety. Let me just get a view for you here. So it's staying short and compact. It really is. I think it would do well in a container. And then those... all of those are going to grow up and up and up and just eventually get to the top of that. So they'll just keep growing. It's kind of what tomatoes do. Alrighty, over here for our hot pepper section. We start with the lemon drops. I have 3 lemon drop in a row. And then we have the cayenne pepper. Peppers always make me so nervous. They start out so small and I think, oh my goodness, they're not gonna take off. And then once you get them in the ground, a couple weeks in the ground, like last week they were like half this size. And then all of a sudden they just start taking off. Like, I don't know. Especially these Santakas, like they were just so tiny, not bushing out, and I was just like, oh man, probably not gonna have a good pepper year. Santaka, Greek peppercini. Let me get you a side view of this one. So beautiful. And then early jalapeno. This one was super tiny, I wasn't sure. This one was looking like that one. That one's still struggling. It's going a little slow, but I think it'll catch up. And if I remember, it's like a smaller plant anyway. Early jalapeno, medium jalapeno. See some little pepper buds gonna form. This one has a flower, and I'm not okay with it having a flower because it's so tiny still. But I'll show you the cute flower. So I'm gonna pinch that flower. This is early jalapeno. Tabasco. Because these peppers aren't like naturally tiny, I'll let them all keep growing. The reason I pinch off is to help the plant grow bigger and bushier before it starts producing the fruit. Serrano. What is this one? Paseo Bajío. Lovely. Sweet banana. These are large peppers, so I think I'll leave the buds on there, but I'm expecting the plants to get twice this size. Thai hot. Anaheim. Edgevarsky. I see a little piece of grass I'm going to pluck out of there. Edgevarsky. I think this one is Edgevarsky. Yep. So that does it for the hot peppers. Looking so good. Now, I think I definitely want like mulch around these tiles because I tried to spray them off, but the dirt just kind of washed back on there. Really quick about peppers. I think the reason I get so nervous that they're not going to produce, they're not going to grow, is because for 3 or 4 years, maybe even 5 years, I tried to grow peppers, and I finally found the magic sauce, the secret sauce, the magic recipe for growing them, and it was morning sun, evening shade. And I was nervous here because I didn't have that. I had finally found this spot on my property at our other property, and I'm like, oh my goodness. But I do think this greenhouse is really nurturing the peppers and just keeping everything safe out of the wind. Like that plant there, that huckleberry plant, I don't think it would be doing so well because we've had a few windstorms. But in here, it's getting, you can see the leaves kind of waving a little bit in the wind. And it's a very light breeze this morning. It's not like windy. It's actually very still this morning. But anyway, especially tomatoes, they need airflow. But the crazy windstorms that we get here are just so bad that it has been my struggle as a gardener for years. So to have this protective space, this protective building, it is just, oh my goodness, I just feel like it is such a blessing, and it is so, so cool. So this next one here, I want to say it's the Grand Carnival Bell. I tried to leave my labels sticking out because I knew I wouldn't remember them all. I have a lot of them memorized, but all right. Where's your label here? Okay, found it. It's the Grand Mix Bell. And this is the Carnival Bell, and then I have 3 Habaneras. And as you can see, that mulch just really helped them. Even though I wasn't able to mulch as much over here, it's still helping. The little bit that we were able to put on there is still helping. Next is Violet Sparkle. Sorry, excuse me. Violet Sparkle, Violet Sparkle, Violet Sparkle. These are so tasty. If you've never tried them, I really recommend them. Oh, this is a bell pepper, and it's coming back. I think it's gonna make a comeback. Carnival Blend. Grand Bell Mix. All right, is this one of the mini bells? Oh, yeah, there's my other Violet Sparkle. Looky, looky. Oh, I hope the pollinators make it in here. Is this where the mini bells start? Yep. Then the rest of this section is mini bell peppers, with the exception of that one spot there that is a bare root horseradish. And I am hoping it grows because I've never... There's a bird on my archway. Oh my goodness. I love birds. Okay. Horseradish in there. Okay. And all of these are mini bells. Alrighty, I planted more melons over here because just wasn't having success with the melons in the middle. And we built this archway. I got the archway idea from a channel called Roots and Refuge. Her name is Jess. And I've been following her for years and learning how to garden from her for years. And so just shout out to Jess. She's amazing and has inspired me in so many ways. But I didn't think I was going to have an archway this year. Ryan was able to make it happen. And I went ahead and I planted pumpkins along there and beans, kind of going for that squash corn theme. And I planted sunflowers along the edges, and it'll be a surprise to what varieties they are, but I tried to do it so that they would be the tallest in the middle, the shorter varieties on the edge, so it should make this pattern. The watermelon is doing great, and then these are the melons that were in the middle, and we kind of transplanted them. It might have been a mistake, but I think they're going to make a comeback. Melons and beans and those kind of things don't do well with transplanting, so we'll see. They definitely look a little beat up this morning and a little bit rough. But that one's doing better than I thought, because they were all looking like this one. So I don't know, could have been a mistake, but this is I'm not sure what kind of melon is growing there, but kind of looks like cantaloupe to me, possibly a cucumber. And this is for sure a watermelon. So that is it, everybody. And oh, the archway is just one cattle panel, and we have some wooden stakes in the ground. We usually use T-poles, but Ryan had this idea to use these wooden. I questioned him on his choice. So I was like, we also found some metal pieces to like secure it down into the ground, because I'm like, I don't know if that little pieces of wood are gonna hold it all. But here is the garden update, week 4. I'm just so happy. I could just come out here and sit and just watch the birds fly in and watch there. I saw some toads in here. I'm so excited to see that, because they'll eat the pests that come around. And so yeah, it's just really coming along. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, and if you're enjoying what I post, please hit the like button. It helps me know what to make more videos about on our little farm. And also, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. It also helps me produce more content. And so, yes, thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. I planted potatoes here. I've never grown potatoes. These are just grocery store potatoes that had sprouted. I had about 20, I think. I put them in there. We'll see what happens with that.